A slave with a shattered leg outlived the men who broke it. He wrote a couple words that still humble kings. Today, those words become your training manual. No motivation speech, no soft hands, just 10 habits that build a man nothing can shake. Most men spend their whole lives reacting. Something happens, they flinch, they explain themselves, they apologize for taking up space. The men on this list did the opposite, on purpose every single day, until it stopped being effort and started being who they were. Let's begin. 1. They stopped negotiating with fear. Fear talks. It negotiates. It tells you the deadline will kill you, the fight will end you, the rejection will define you. Most men listen and cut a deal. They shrink the ask, they lower the standard, they walk away quiet and call it peace. Epictetus was a slave before he was a philosopher, a man whose leg was broken by his own master, and he did not flinch from what came after. He wrote it plain. Death or pain is not formidable, but the fear of pain or death. Read that twice. Not the beating, not the bill collector, not the loss itself. The fear of it. That is the entire fight. A man who has already made peace with the worst outcome cannot be threatened with it anymore. That is not confidence. That is a closed door fear can't kick down. 2. They train for the ambush. Comfortable men get destroyed by small things because small things arrive as surprises. Seneca did not wait for disaster to introduce itself. He rehearsed it. Poverty, exile, sickness, betrayal. He walked through each one in his mind before it walked through his door, so that when it finally showed up, it found a man who had already met it. He wrote his own rule down cold. Not to give in to adversity, never to trust prosperity. In 1965, Navy pilot James Stockdale was shot down over Vietnam and spent nearly 8 years in a POW camp being tortured on a schedule. He had studied Epictetus before the war. He credited that training, not luck, not rescue, with keeping his mind intact through years. Most men would not survive with their sanity whole. He had already fought the war in his head before the enemy ever caught him. 3. They let circumstance expose the weak. Nobody finds out who they are during easy months. They find out during the month everything breaks at once. Epictetus called hardship training, comparing it to a wrestling coach pairing you against a rough opponent on purpose. It is circumstances that show what men are, he said, and he meant it as a compliment to whoever the circumstances landed on. Mark ran his business the way most men run their lives, comfortable, untested, assuming the ground beneath him was permanent. Then his partner of 6 years quietly drained the shared account and vanished before the bank even flagged it. Mark's first instinct was to call every mutual friend and burn the man's name to the ground, to turn the betrayal into a public trial he could win. He sat with that impulse for one night instead of acting on it, and by morning the anger had turned into a plan. 2 years later, his new company was 3 times the size of the old one, built entirely on what he learned, watching himself almost become someone he didn't respect. The partner's betrayal didn't build that company. Mark's response to it did. Drop the number of the habit that hit closest so far in the comments. It tells me you're still here. 4. They choose the wound they can control. Most pain in your life right now is rented, not owned. You're bleeding over an opinion you can't change, a decision someone else already made, a version of the future that hasn't happened and might not. I learned this the hard way once, watching a friend I trusted for a decade lie to my face without blinking. The sleepless nights that followed cost me more than the betrayal itself ever did. Epictetus split the world into 2 piles, what's yours to control and what isn't, and he was ruthless about which pile most of your suffering actually belongs to. Your effort is yours. Your reputation is not. Your preparation is yours. The outcome is not. Stop paying interest on debts you never agreed to owe. Move the energy to the pile that's actually yours, and watch how much lighter the other pile gets to carry. 5. They go looking for discomfort before discomfort finds them. Comfort makes men soft in ways they don't notice until reality tests them. Seneca, a man wealthy enough to sleep on silk every night, chose instead to sleep on the floor sometimes, wear rough clothes, eat plain food, specifically so poverty could never surprise him or own him. Rocky Balboa chooses the cold, the raw eggs, the stairs at 5 in the morning before anyone is watching for the same exact reason. Not punishment, preparation. Pain on your own terms teaches you that pain doesn't get to run your life. Theodore Roosevelt was a sickly child who could barely climb a flight of stairs without gasping for air, and his father told him plainly to build a body or spend his life trapped inside a weak one. Roosevelt chose the gym, the boxing ring, and the outdoors, and turned himself into the most physically relentless president America has ever had. Nobody handed him that. He went looking for the version of pain he could control before life sent him the version he couldn't. 6. They kill the day before it kills them. Every unresolved moment from your day follows you into bed and picks a fight with you at midnight. Seneca reviewed every single day before sleep, asking himself what he'd done wrong, what he'd done right, and what needed to change tomorrow, treating himself like a soldier debriefing after a mission instead of a man looking for reasons to feel bad. 90 seconds is enough. What almost broke your discipline today? What did you get away with that you shouldn't have? What does tomorrow need from you that today didn't get? Answer it, close the file, and sleep like the day is actually finished instead of dragging it into your dreams unresolved. 7. They ration what they let inside their skull. You wouldn't let a stranger off the street cook every meal you eat, but you let strangers on your phone feed your mind for 6 hours a day without checking the ingredients. Seneca told his friend Lucilius to stop reading everything and start reading a few things deeply, the writers who had already survived what Lucilius was currently going through. Outrage is cheap content because it's easy to produce and even easier to consume, and it will make you feel something without ever making you stronger. 20 minutes with a mind that already fought your exact battle and won does more for you than 4 hours of noise that's forgotten by tomorrow. Guard the door to your own head like your life depends on it. 8. They don't waste ammunition on ghosts. A grudge is a fight you keep having alone against someone who already left the room. You're the only one still swinging, still losing sleep, still narrating the argument in the shower a year later, while the other person moved on and barely remembers your name. Every hour spent replaying a wrong someone did to you is an hour stolen from the life you're supposed to be building right now. This is not about turning the other cheek. It is about arithmetic. The grudge costs you sleep, focus, and peace, and the person you're holding it against is out there living their life without paying a cent of it. Let the account close, not because they deserved forgiveness, because you deserve your own attention back, and you're the one who's been paying for it this whole time. 9. They keep a debt book of what's already theirs. Gratitude sounds soft until you understand it as a discipline instead of a feeling. Most men wait to feel thankful before they act thankful, and that day rarely comes on its own. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus treated it the other way around, naming exactly what they'd been given and exactly who gave it to them, specific enough that the feeling had no choice but to follow the practice. Vague gratitude fades fast. Specific gratitude compounds. Name the exact thing, the exact person, the exact reason it mattered, and do it before you ask life for one more thing you don't have yet. 10. They remember the exit door is always open. Every Stoic emperor, slave, and exile on this list is dead now, and that fact was never meant to depress you. It was meant to focus you. Maximus tells the crowd in Gladiator that what we do in life echoes in eternity, and underneath the movie line sits the exact same idea Marcus Aurelius was writing to himself 2,000 years earlier. That time is the one thing no man gets back, regardless of rank or wealth. You are not guaranteed tomorrow morning. Neither was anyone on this list. The grudge you're still holding, the apology you keep postponing, the version of yourself you keep promising to become next month, none of it has the runway you think it has. Use that discomfort, let it sharpen exactly what matters, and cut away everything that doesn't. 10 habits, not theory, not comfort food for your ego, a training program built by men who buried children, survived captivity and got exiled by tyrants, and still didn't break. Stop negotiating with fear. Train for the ambush. Let circumstance expose you on purpose. Fight only for what's actually yours. Choose your own discomfort before life chooses it for you. Kill the day before it follows you to bed. Ration what gets into your skull. Drop the grudges costing you more than they cost anyone else. Keep a real account of what you've already got. Remember, the door out is always open, and let that truth sharpen you instead of scare you. Pick the one habit that hit hardest and run it for 7 days straight before you touch the rest of this list. Not all 10 at once. That's how men convince themselves they're building something while actually building nothing. 1 habit, 7 days, no excuses. That's how the men who wrote these words actually lived them, one at a time, under pressure, with no audience watching and no applause waiting at the end of it. Thank you for watching. If this video resonated with you, hit like and subscribe. For more content that YouTube and the mainstream keeps shadow banning, join me on Patreon. I'll see you in the next one.